We will be live streaming going forward from now on every race. We will continue to upload the streams to the podcast places. So please tell your friends about us. Get your family involved. Formula One is the fastest growing sport in the world. There's about 100 million people just got through watching the Austrian Grand Prix. So have all your friends and family become part of it. Welcome, Formula One fans. This is the Formula One News Hour. I'm your host, Jonathan Steele, and it is race day. And the cars are on their formation lap on this 3.37 mile circuit, which I believe has 14 turns. And I think the race will be 57 laps. So it should be quite interesting. Of course, the thing that's not interesting anymore, because Sergio Perez did not finish the race, the sprint to the pole yesterday, means he scored no points. Max Verstappen came in second, which means he scored enough points to finish off the World Championship. So there is no suspense anymore. Not that there was any suspense last race or the race before. There's never been any doubt that Max Verstappen would again win the World Championship this year, making it 3 in a row. So we are going to enjoy the racing anyway. Here at the Formula One News Hour, we are still sitting with our fingers crossed, hoping that we will get a press pass to Qatar in a couple of weeks. But in the meantime, we've got an exciting development from the previous races, and that is Oscar Piastri, the young rookie Australian, is on pole for today. So we got Piastri and Verstappen on the front row. So that should make for a really exciting start. If you remember last race, Oscar Piastri outdid Verstappen going into the first corner. He didn't quite get past Verstappen, but he gave him a hell of a challenge to get through it. So we're looking for a really good race from McLaren, and of course from the Red Bull team as well. Sergio Perez, because they had to make so many repairs to his car, is starting from the pit lane. And I just saw on the TV, it looks like one of the Ferraris is not starting the race at all, as we get a view of Fernando Alonso's, it's the Mercedes crew and then the McLaren crew. So we'll have to have a look-see and see how many Ferraris we see here. I don't see any. The camera view is not very good, but we are lining up and getting ready to take off and go to start here the Qatar race. We haven't introduced our sponsors as of yet, but we will do so as the race gets underway and we get the first lap or 2 laps down. But again, then the green flag goes, and so we get the lights, and we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and they are off. And wow, that was a delayed start, but Verstappen gets a great start. Something happened because I didn't see Piastri there on the pole. He's back there in 4th or 5th. Whoa, I just assumed from yesterday, and already we have 2 cars out of the race. We got a yellow flag going into the corner, but I just saw a wheel come off one car and another car spin totally out of control. So it comes from the middle of the pack. So we'll get an update here from the professionals at Sky Sports about exactly what happened there. But I did see a wheel come off, and I believe so it's 2 cars that are out of the race. We got a lot of cars locking up. George Russell, I've got damage, so he's done. So he won't have a great day racing in Qatar. But we've got to wait and see if we can get a replay here and see exactly who it is that has not fared so well right going in there to the first turn. So safety car is out. So we can take this opportunity because we've got a safety car. So we've got okay. So the lineup. So it was so Piastri was. So what happened? So we've got George Russell. Is it George Russell or Hamilton? Lewis Hamilton. I can't. I'm looking. I'm trying to get a view of the helmet, but I can't make it out. He's got a new helmet on there, but they're showing Hamilton and Carlos Sainz in last place. So the wheel I saw came off Lewis Hamilton. It's Lewis Hamilton. The wheel came off Lewis Hamilton's car. Let's see if they can give us a replay here as we watch the safety car. So it looks like only Hamilton is out of the race, although they're showing Carlos Sainz also out of the race. They're showing Perez all the way back in the back, and now they're showing George Russell. George Russell's coming into pit lane. So it looks like Russell, Hamilton, and Carlos Sainz got tied up, mixed up together, and so George Russell has come in and he's getting wheels. It's a long pit stop. What else are they doing to that car? Are they going to take it out? No, he's off again, but that was a very, very long pit stop. And Carlos Sainz, we're going to get the restart here. So we're going to take a look and see if we can see exactly what happened as we go. And we see, I don't understand, did the two Mercedes get knocked into each other? What happened? Oh, Lewis Hamilton, and they did too. It was the two Mercedes banged into each other, and the result is that our good friend Lewis Hamilton's day is over. George Russell is still in it. So there was a lot of change up overnight that I didn't see, and that was just purely that was all Lewis Hamilton's fault. That was just a terrible piece of driving. He literally drove cut in front of and his right rear tire banged into the left front wheel of George Russell. So I'm going to think that as we watch this spin around, I got to figure that let us know if you're okay, mate. Yeah, I got taken out by my team, by my own teammate. Yeah, right. Not very good. Very, in fact, I would say very poor. And I was wrong on the startup. So some changes happened overnight that I didn't follow up on. I was busy taking out a tree on my property here after it got hit by lightning and split in two. But the wheel that I saw was in fact Lewis Hamilton. So while we're under this yellow car condition, let's go ahead and think, why did he do that? That's just crazy. Just absolutely crazy. He had so much track room to work with going into that first turn. It is unbelievable that a driver of that caliber would make such an unbelievable mistake. Just absolutely crazy. As obviously his team is just devastated. They've just shown a thing on his team of his team. So Piastri actually started back in 6th position. I should have taken more note of when they do the lineup, but I thought my memory was so good and I didn't think things were going to change from yesterday, so I apologize for that. But as we watch Lewis Hamilton walking back to the pits, Lance Stroll has not stopped for tyres, and they're showing Bottas in 5th, but Bottas has not stopped for tyres. Piastri now, who has stopped for tyres, is up in 4th, so he's going to be in 2nd place pretty quick as they show him going by Valtteri Bottas, putting Valtteri Bottas back into that 5th place. And I mean, just a beautiful piece of driving right there. Comes down on the inside. He really outbraked Valtteri Bottas, and that's saying something. You know, Bottas is a very, very good driver. Now they're showing Verstappen 2.7 seconds behind Alex Albon, but like I said, Albon hasn't stopped for tires, and he will. He's got to at some. I'm saying he hasn't stopped. He has stopped once, but it was earlier on. I think he stopped at lap 8 or 9, so he's probably gonna have to stop again on lap 24 or 25. And in fact, he's stopping right now. So Alex Albon is into the pits, which puts Verstappen back in first place. And let's see what kind of a pit stop he manages to get for himself as he comes in and stops. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa, what happened there? Interesting. Yeah, 3.4 seconds. That was a little slow. Bottas now is being shown in third place. Alonso and Stroll in fourth and fifth. Now, Stroll has not stopped for tyres. Alonso has. Alonso, I believe, stopped at lap 12 or 13. So it's going to be really interesting. Verstappen has a 7.8 second lead on Oscar Piastri. So as we come down, they're showing a replay. They're showing a replay of the two Aston Martins battling each other for position. Fernando Alonso just passing his teammate Lance Stroll. So Lance is not doing so badly. I know he's really frustrated yesterday, but he seems to be having quite a good day as we watch Lando Norris go past Charles Leclerc. So the Ferrari, either the driver doesn't like this track or the cars don't like this track because they're just having a tough weekend. They didn't do well in the free practice, and they didn't do well in the shoot for the pole, the sprint for the pole. As we watch Alonso come up, he's got DRS on Valtteri Bottas, so he will move into third place as he moves past Bottas. Now there's no defense for that because he had DRS and Valtteri did not have DRS. So right now we're at Verstappen with a 7.2 second lead on Piastri, and Piastri has a 3-4 second lead on Alonso. I was just watching Sergio Perez go past Alex Albon to take over the 14th position. So as I mentioned earlier, when these guys were showing up there, a voice of Lewis Hamilton retired from the race. So I guess they've got Lewis Hamilton on the TV because I don't have any sound. So because if I put the sound on, then it creates havoc for my great producer, all things technical guy, Andre. And I don't have sound now because I'm live streaming on the laptop that I used to use to get the sound from. So I can't do both. So anyway, it's not a big deal. I don't need the sound. I can. I've got eyes. I can do what the same thing the professionals there at Sky Sports are doing. They are watching and then they're making up their minds about exactly what to talk about when they are broadcasting. So they're doing pretty much the same thing as I am. I'm sure they're doing a much better job because they're professionals. But one day if I do this long enough, 20, 25 years, maybe I'll get to be a professional at it too. We'll see. Anyway, getting back to the race, in the bottom five is we've got Perez, Alex Albon, Logan Sargent. Logan's still in the race. That's a good sign. Joe Granu and Hülkenberg. George Russell just came on and said something. I didn't catch what it was. But anyway, where is George? George is now in 10th position. So behind the Alpine cars of Gasly and Ocon. As we watch George, he's got DRS on Gasly. So it shouldn't be long. In fact, it's going to be right now. George is going to go past Gasly and take that 9th position away. He didn't get past him. Whoa, that is really, really interesting. That he must not have grip or something. What he pushed me straight off. Oh, okay. So he couldn't get past him because he got pushed off the track. Well, that's bad news. But there's all kinds of little tricks that these guys use on each other to stop them getting past. It didn't look like to me that George was pushed off, but I'm not sitting in George's seat. So, now we've got Max Verstappen has just taken that fastest lap away from Oscar Piastri. What's interesting is he's not opening up any type of gap on Piastri, and Alonso is not opening up any gap on Alonso as Alonso. Right. Anyway, I got sidetracked because we got Bottas, Stroll, Magnussen, and Lawson all coming in for tires. So that about I think that's one now pit stop for everybody. I was waiting for those guys to come out and do it. Let's see where they come out. So as I predicted, Liam's all the way back in last place again. And wow, he's got a long pit stop. It took him a little over 3 seconds to get those tires changed. So anyway, it's Lawson, Magnussen, Stroll, Bottas, and Hulkenberg now are your bottom end guys. Your top end guys are Verstappen, Piastri, Alonso, and Norris. Norris is 3.7 seconds behind Alonso. So I think that the Aston Martin is performing quite well. Although Lance Stroll, he came into the pits now, so he's all the way back in 16th position. Alex Albon, I don't get it. I'm slower. I didn't get the rest of it. Sorry, I was looking at the thing. But something is bothering Alex about his car. Where is he? He is in 11th position, and Logan Sargent is in 12th position. So not actually a bad showing for Williams today. A little better, certainly better today than what we saw out of the sprint for the pole, as we watch the car of George Russell trying to get past Gasly again, and Sergio Perez, and this time he does it. Sergio Perez has just taken the fastest lap. So that's interesting. That means his car's come alive for him. He's feeling happy out there. As we watch now, George Russell try to get past Esteban Ocon. He doesn't have DRS yet, so that's going to hinder him a little bit. And he finds himself sandwiched between the two Alpine cars. So the two Alpines working together can kind of make it a little difficult for George to get past, because George doesn't have DRS. If George gets DRS, then the other Gasly is close enough to George to have DRS. So it'll be kind of a tough. Excuse me, my allergies are bothering me a little bit. It's interesting, isn't it? My allergies haven't been so bad today, but this, I'm coming to you today. We started at noontime in Austin, Texas. The race, I believe, it's like 8. I think they're 8 hours ahead in Qatar. So they started 8 in the evening there. So it's very, very interesting that my allergies are not bothering me as we get into the day like they do at the beginning of the day. Anyway, we're coming up on midway through the race. We're 24 of 57 laps. Excuse me. So George Russell is still chasing Esteban Ocon for 6th place. Let's see what's happening at the back of the pack. Not a lot happening, although I would. It looks like that Liam Lawson is going to be challenging his teammate Yuki Tsunoda for position. You know what's really interesting? Ever since Yuki Tsunoda got Danny Ricciardo and now Liam Lawson, it's affected him mentally, because he just hasn't been the driver that he was when Nick de Vries was his teammate. He was all the way up there. He was scoring points on just about every race, up in the top 10. And since Ricardo came over, and now Liam's been filling in for him, it just seems like he's struggling, although he's opened up a little bit of a gap between himself and Liam Lawson at about 0.3 of a second. But let's see how that plays out here in the next few laps. Right now, Verstappen is continuing. Black and white flag for Perez. So that means he's gone outside of track limits now for 4 times. So the next 5th time will be a black flag, and that'll be a 5-second penalty. We still haven't found out why Hulkenberg got a 10-second penalty. But like I said, we'll try and find that out and bring that up to you next time. Let's see. Yeah, Tsunoda has now opened up nearly a 2-second lead on his teammate. Joe Granu has DRS. In fact, Piastri, box. Why are they getting Piastri to box again now? That's rather early. I would have thought he should have been out there for another 6. Let's see, we're in lap 25. Yeah, he should have been out there for at least for another 5 or 6 laps. maybe there's something happening with the car that they don't like. But I'm sure we're going to see as he comes down the pit lane, and we're on board right now with George Russell, who's on the tail of Esteban Ocon. He has DRS, but for some reason he just can't get past him. As we watch Gasly, I think it is. Yeah, it is coming up on the Ferrari it's Esteban Ocon, sorry, coming up on the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc, as we watched Piastri coming down pit lane. Let's see if they're going strictly for a tyre change. I see also on pit lane, I see the Ferrari guys coming out. So Ferrari's scared that McLaren was undercutting them. There's a beautiful pit stop right there for Piastri, 2.1 seconds. And we got Leclerc and Ocon. These tyre changes, really weird, the tyre changes. 2.3 seconds for the Leclerc, and how long? 3 seconds for Ocon. That's you wouldn't think half a second would matter much, but it actually does, as we watch the car of Joe Granu go past Logan Sargent. I'm sure Logan Sargent today just is really trying to get through this race without a mishap, because as many mishaps he's had in the last few races, I'm sure the seat is burning there. Anything we can do at the pit stop, throw me water or something. Okay, so Alonso's complaining. Understood, Fernando will have a think if we can do anything. Going to be difficult. Yeah, that's interesting. These drivers, in case you didn't know, these drivers are actually sitting on the battery pack. So as more power goes in and out of that battery, it creates heat underneath it. So that'll be interesting to see. So where is Alonso? He's in second place. He is 15 seconds behind Verstappen now. Lando Norris now has just passed him and gone into second place. As we watch Alonso come down on pit lane, that's why he went past him. So as he comes down, let's see what they throw. See if they throw a bucket of water on him or something. Let's see, what are they doing? I can't see. They did something. I can't see what it was though. That's really interesting. Maybe threw in an ice pack or something, so he could put it on the seat to cool it between his legs. It'd be interesting. Now we're seeing Gasly in pits. Now we're seeing a whole other set of tyre strategies. We got Logan Sargent in the pit as well. So let's see how long he takes. I'm kind of zooming out so I don't get a really good view of what they're doing. Sergio Perez has got a penalty, so he must have got black flag. There's the 5 seconds. So where are you, Sergio? Sergio is currently in 4th, 5 seconds, and moving back into 5th. So, and then Piastri got by him. What I was telling you about Alonso and Norris. So, as I said, it wasn't a sustainable position for him anyway. So that wasn't going to happen long. So now we've got Piastri that's 6.5 seconds behind Perez, but Perez has got a 5-second penalty coming up, and he's also got a tire change coming up. So it's going to put. So at the end, George, we're currently looking at a possible P4 here, keep on top of those track limits. Aha. Okay, so then it must mean that George has got exceeded track limits 2 or 3 times, and they're starting to worry about it, because with a 4-stop strategy, and I think everybody except Verstappen is on a 4-stop strategy, and maybe Perez, because Verstappen's had 1 stop, and just about everybody else, with the exception, no, even Russell, I think, yeah, because he stopped once after the first lap. So he stopped twice. So yeah, it could well be a 4-stop strategy for just about everybody. Which means that these tires are just not maintaining the grip that they expected, which is probably why Formula One mandated this 18 lap limit, because they know these tires are not going to last, and they don't want to put the drivers or the cars or anybody at risk. So the other interesting thing that I'll just say is Piastri has just turned in the fastest lap, and he's catching Perez. So as we watch the Lando Norris go by Joe Granu now as well. So Lando is 2.3 seconds behind Alex Albon. So Alex is having a good race, but I believe he's due to stop the tires shortly as well. Logan Sargent is all the way back in 18. Liam Lawson has climbed up to 16, and his teammate Yuki Tsunoda has DRS on Kevin Magnussen. So that's going to move him up to 14, and then that will put Liam about 4 seconds behind Magnussen, as we are on board with, who are we on board with? Perez or Verstappen? I can't, all I can see is the Oracle, so it's, unless they can tell me it's Verstappen. So they're on the radio. Let's have a managed increase in pace at this point. So they want him to go a little faster, because right now pick up the pace a little bit from here, but it has to be sustainable. So what they're doing is 22 seconds up on second place. So for the pit stop, they're estimating 26 seconds. So they want him to put another 3-4 seconds onto his lead. So when they bring him into the pits at 8 and 8:36, so in 5 laps from now, they will bring him in, and they want him to have a nice sizable lead on the rest of the field, so that even if he goes into second place, he'll be on new tires ahead of second place, and he'll be able to get past them pretty quickly. So they are on a they're on a 3-stop strategy, I believe, for Verstappen, and probably Perez is the same. So still Verstappen, Russell, Perez, and Piastri and Albon are your top 5. Verstappen's got 22.4 seconds on George Russell, and Perez is 8 seconds behind that. Piastri, it's interesting. I thought he closed the gap a little bit on Perez, but it's showing him at 3.9 seconds back from Perez. Oh no, he was 6 seconds. So he is. Yeah, remember I said Perez would serve his penalty. He still have a 1 second lead on Piastri, but that's not the case. Piastri's making up. In fact, they're bringing Perez into the pits right now. So as he comes down the pit, they'll stop. Now they can't do anything for 5 seconds. So they stand there. The guys are already, now they go. Right, boom, boom, boom. So a 2.4 second pit stop turns into a 7.4 seconds. So now we've got both the McLarens in 3rd and 4th position, as we watch Alex Albon now into the pits. Very nice pit stop there by the Williams team, and 3 seconds, but a little long, but still good. But he's right out. He's in and out right behind Sergio Perez, and he's going to come out behind the Alpine of let's see, the Alpine. Where is he? Let's see. I'm lost. Well, there you go. It happens. Not really. So Alex Albon came out behind Yuki Tsunoda, is what it was. So Yuki Tsunoda is in 14th, Alex is in 15th. Liam Lawson is up to 16th, ahead of Hulkenberg and Sargent. And Piastri, so George Russell is in the pits. Let's see how his pit, and he stopped. 1, 2, very nice pit stop, maybe 2.5 seconds, 2.6 seconds, and who has turned in the fastest lap? Lando Norris just turned in the fastest lap, but Lando should now be into, he is 3rd place, so we got Verstappen and then followed by both the McLaren. So whatever happened in that McLaren team about 4 or 5 races ago, they made some changes that really have put them in contention, I'm sure, ready for next year. Oh, and we've got one of the Aston Martins that just decided to leave the track and come right back on. Who was that? It had to be, it was in fact, it was Fernando Alonso. How about that? That's strange. Which moves him back to 7th position. But get this, he's still got DRS on the Ferrari of Leclerc. So although they're bringing Verstappen in now, this is about a lap early, but he's got a 34-second lead. So he's going to come in, he's going to change tires, come back out, and he's still going to have a 6-7 second lead as we watch what happened to Alonso. He just lost it going into the corner, and he just keeps driving. He goes through all the gravel, keeps on driving, keeps going, stirs up a whole bunch of dust, and the car's bouncing around, and he's driving it across the gravel, back onto the track, and away he goes again. So, and whoa, who just about, oh, that was when Leclerc got past him, so he came out. That was a beautiful piece of driving, to save it like that into the gravel and come back out and skid out in front and not have anybody really give you any grief. So Norris is 4.6 seconds behind his teammate, Joe Granu. That Alfa Romeo is having a beautiful race today. Actually, both Alfa Romeos, because they're both in the top 10. So they've obviously brought some improvements to their cars this weekend, and it is showing. So we're seeing actually a lot tighter competition here as we get into the latter stages of the 2023 session for Formula One, as we watch Alex Albon now chasing. Sorry, it's not Alex Albon. It is Pierre Gasly chasing the car. Who's in the pit? So Verstappen. Oh, stop time. 2.5 seconds. Yeah. So they're just now. Oh, they're doing a replay. That's what it is. So Verstappen will come out comfortably in the lead. 3, 6, probably 7 seconds ahead as we watch him come down out of pit lane onto the track. Yeah, he's well out there, 29. So yeah, so they changed that. Yeah, came out. Yeah, 9 seconds to spare. So very nice. That whole team is just the whole thing is just just works like, as we used to say. You know, don't hear this expression very often. Working like a Swiss watch, as we watch George Russell go past Joe Granu into 4th position. So he's 10 seconds behind Lando Norris, so I don't think he's going to make up that anytime soon. So we might be looking at what we get, Logan Sargent on the radio. He's back in 18th place. Hey, the good thing for Logan, it's lap 35 and he's still out there in the race, so that's really good news for him. If he can get through this entire day without a mishap, he'll be really, really happy to have that happen. Right now, the other rookie that's out there, Liam Lawson, is 3.1 seconds now behind his teammate. His teammate, Yuki Tsunoda, has DRS on Alex Albon. There he comes through. It's an interesting color on that Williams car. It's kind of, it's nice. Anyway, I think is he going to get him, or is he? No, I don't think so. Let's see. We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, no, he's not. He's just pulled ahead. So now we've got Yuki Tsunoda over a second behind, and Logan Sargent is now has DRS on Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg is 3 seconds behind Liam Lawson. At the top end, interesting, we've got Piastri now just 5.7 seconds as we watch Joe Granu come down into pit lane. 5.7 seconds on Verstappen. So either Verstappen's just kind of eased off a little bit, or that those tires have not done him any great favors as we watch Alex Albon take Joe Granu. In fact, so I don't know why that happened that way. Joe Granu was coming into the pits, I believe. Right? Who was coming into the pits? I think it's Joe Granu. Anyway, so as we watch the where's Alonso? Alonso's in 6th, and Lance Stroll is in 9th. So Aston Martin right now in position to score some points. And these construction points are important because it determines how much of the money that's left over at the end of the year gets distributed amongst the team. So the more points you get, the more money you get. So that creates competition not just for the drivers, but also for the car constructors, the teams themselves. So as we watch Pierre Gasly trying to pull up on Lance Stroll and get past Lance Stroll. He has DRS on him, so it shouldn't be too long. Lance Stroll, the last few races has really struggled. He had a really nasty accident 2 races ago where he actually was so bad. It was during qualifying. It was so bad that he didn't even come back and get in the race. They took him off to the hospital. I think he probably suffered from a concussion. And what's interesting is that, and this is something that I've said for the last couple of races now, Formula One has got to be concerned about. Something's going on, because it was only 2.6 seconds, but he kept going and going and going. As we watch, who was that come through? That's got to be Max Verstappen's just taken back the fastest lap, but that had to be Sergio Perez that came down. A black and white flag for Lance Stroll. So Perez isn't the only one, but Perez is the most popular one. He has, taken, that's 2 penalties for exceeding track limits. Logan Sargent is on the radio with his folks. Where is Logan? He's in 14th right now. Liam Lawson is back in 17th. Hulkenberg is 4 seconds behind there. So Liam is not going to. Where's his teammate? His teammate is up in. Where's Tsunoda? Can't find Tsunoda. I'll find him in a minute. And we have a yellow flag. What has happened? We've got a yellow flag, and it's back to green. Somebody's spun off. We're watching the Sergio Perez replay penalty. Where did he go over? I don't know where he went over. What? That's interesting. Trying to show him going over. They didn't show him going over at all. So Logan Sargent is back in the pits, or is in the pits. 42nd. Next pit stop no later than lap 45. Okay, so they're talking about the McLarens now. So George Russell is who also has to make another pit stop. So I don't see. And they're taking Logan Sargent's car off the track. So another DNF did that for Logan Sargent. What in the hell happened this time, Logan? So remember they had a brief yellow flag, and whatever it was Logan's fault, because he's pulling his helmet off like, what the hell? Why does this keep happening to me? And the reason is, Logan, is unfortunately, little buddy, I don't think you were cut out to be a Formula One driver. So back to IndyCar for you. Very good IndyCar driver. That's how he managed to get up and make his way in. Also, don't get me wrong. He's an exceptional driver. It's just, it takes just a different type of driver to get these cars around this track. It's not like it was 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. These drivers could move from any car to any car to any car because they were driving all of these different cars every week. It's not like that anymore. They don't even start driving in a real car. They're going go-karts, and then they go from go-karts to Formula 3, and Formula 3 to Formula 2, and they've also got junior Formula in there. They had all kinds of stuff, right? So now they're bringing Piastri in. So it's just a whole different mode of driving. They don't have gear shifters. They don't have the big heavy clutches. They've all got power steering. Yeah, it's just a whole different car, whole different thing. They're bringing in Ferrari now, Charles Leclerc. So Verstappen has got a 10-second lead on Piastri. When are they going to? Are they going to bring Verstappen back in? Let's see how many pit stops he's had. 2. Yeah, so what do we say? They have to do 3 pit stops. So at some point, so when they bring Piastri in, and Norris is coming in as well, so he'll gain another 30 seconds. So this is pretty much decided at lap 43, unless we have a really bad accident or something, not really bad, but somebody spins out. Lance Stroll's just got his 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits. So the only thing that I'm thinking is, as we watch Piastri come down pit lane for his stop, and he's just completed the Lando Norris race as well. His teammate Lando Norris now is 1.6 seconds behind him, but I don't think that's going to change. We've got 3 laps left to go. At the bottom end, Liam Lawson is going to finish a race again. Very, very nice. Yesterday, of course, something did happen with the car. His car just made a sudden right turn, so he had a mechanical failure on his car. So again, nice driving from Liam Lawson. Logan Sargent again will not finish the race, and so it's kind of bad as we watch Gasly go past Sergio Perez. That's very interesting. So it must be that Perez doesn't have the grip on that car, because he didn't pass him using DRS. He passed him going through the turn. The only way you're going to get him through the turn is by outbraking him, knowing that you've got the grip in your car to get around the corner. As we see Norris now closing within 1.3 seconds of his teammate. I'm sure McLaren at this stage of the race, with 2 laps left to go, do not want their teammates fighting for position with a chance of both of them knocking themselves out of the race, as we watch a replay of Pierre Gasly taking that position back from Sergio Perez. So some very nice, tidy driving. He nearly exceeded track limits to do it, but he didn't, so he will not have to give that position back. So Lando Norris started 7th. Oh no, I'm showing his positions in the last few races. So 7th, 8th, 2nd, and 2nd in Singapore and Japan, but he's going to come in 3rd here. The reverse from last week. Piastri came in 3rd, and Norris came in 2nd last race, and it's going to flip today, because I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure these guys don't want them fighting on the last lap for position. What they want, black and white flag for car 63, Russell. So George Russell, where are you? Not going to make any difference. Actually it is. It's going to push him back to 5th. Oh my. Oh, Charles Leclerc just dropped to 5 seconds behind. Charles Leclerc, and we're on the last lap. He has got to get and he's got to pick up half a second on George Russell and push Russell back to 5th place. Piastri Norris is a second between them. Now Lando has DRS on his teammate. What is he going to do? It's going to be interesting. I don't think he doesn't have DRS now. He's holding back. Probably team orders right there to not to press, because really you don't want the cars bumping into each other and knocking each other out of the race in a battle. For that means more to the team than it does to individual drivers. They're not going to get Lando might get 2nd place. Let's see, where's Perez? Perez at the moment is down in 11th position, and that's where he is going to finish the race. Let's see, where's Alfa Romeo? Bottas is in 8th position. Joe Granu is in 12th. So Bottas is going to earn some points for his team as Verstappen comes across the finish line. He puts a lap on I guess I can't see who it is now. I think it's Gasly or Stroll. No, I want Stroll because I know the car colors. So it ends with Verstappen, Piastri, Norris in that order. Let's see if Leclerc manages to gain that half second on George Russell and push Russell back to 5th place. The answer is no, because they're showing it now as they've taken the flag. Let's say that. So Alonso is going to take 6th. Where's Lance Stroll? 11th. So a good showing from Alonso this week, I think. Charles Leclerc got himself up into 5th place, and that was a real struggle. And they're showing Verstappen got the fastest lap as well. I think Charles Leclerc he didn't have the car that he thought he had. As Perez moves up into ninth, and so we got all kinds of penalties being awarded, and as they do that, there's all kinds of position changes, and of course Oscar did get vote driver of the day. So folks, this has been, in my view, a very, very interesting race. I don't think the outcome was very much in doubt, but it's great to see McLaren up there. It's great to see Valtteri Bottas finishing up in the 10th place. But all in all, as a lot of really good, interesting racing. And quite frankly, I think mandating those tire changes after 18 laps helped make this a really exciting race. And maybe the Formula One folks will take note of that. But also note that around lap 40, 42, and 43, the cameras that were showing people leaving the race, and I'm sure they got some message from the Formula One folks, because after those couple of times we didn't see it again. But you can be sure that they certainly did leave. A lot of those spectators left the race early, and I would venture to say that the reason for that was, in fact, that there's no suspense anymore about who's going to win the championships. For me personally, I really don't care, because I think every race in itself is really, really interesting. And so the next race, hopefully, we will be bringing live to you from the COTA racetrack right here in Austin, Texas. We're keeping our fingers crossed that we will get a press pass. We haven't been denied yet, and when we applied for the one in Miami, we got denied almost immediately. We did get asked for additional information. We did get asked by Formula One for permission to use all our personal information any way they wanted. So we're seeing that as positive, but I'm sure we'll find out here in the next week. So